thing.
It's my favorite area.
Okay. Hello.
Is Abe coming?
Abe is not coming, and I don't know if you've had different discussions with her, but the last I had talked with her, it seemed like she was no longer.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because she never was so in, she was proposed and accepted, but.
Yeah, it,
Well, she's been in Mexico for like 2 months,
yeah, I think,
so she hasn't attempted it.
I think when she came back, she came in and talked about it a little bit, it seemed like she had kind of had a change of heart about what she wanted to do. Unfortunately, yeah.
Let me know when you want
She
to.
wants to be a trustee member.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. From my conversation with her, it seemed like she was.
How about you, Nick?
She's not interested.
I'll get on the, if you want me on the planning board, I'll totally get on.
She's gotta move into town.
Yeah,
Oh,
What if
yeah.
I'm like in town once a week? Like if I have an apartment. Permanent resident.
Hold on down.
I can be a permanent resident, like I get an apartment here and I'll be here like once a week.
yeah,
And I'll
that's,
get my mail here.
that's enough.
If you,
Is that enough?
I think if you register to vote through that
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
Right.
It can make it like a certain call.
Yeah.
And then,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, considering doing that.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Would allow for other people.
I mean, we need,
All
what
right.
happened, um. Okay, so today is the June 5th, 2023. This is the planning commission meeting for the month of June. The first thing item in our agenda would be the call or order. Can you do that for us, please?
I think you just did.
Oh, no, yes.
Oh, but I'll do-
Yeah,
but I'll do the roll call.
roll call, sorry, yes.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, I
Um,
got mistaken there.
Commissioner Dugal,
Here.
Commissioner Ryer here, Commissioner Mendez Sanchez.
Presented.
Absent with notice is Commissioner Danforth. Also present is interim town administrator Scott Ayerson.
Thank you. And the next item on the agenda will be the approval of the agenda. Somebody would like to make a motion? That you want to see?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for June 5th.
Would like second?
Okay. A second.
Everyone in favor, say aye. Aye. The next part of the agenda will be the approval of the minutes of the meeting on the March 6th regular meeting, the 23.
Oh, sorry, I didn't give you a packet. Yeah, that was.
We like a right now, what's there? You guys have time to review the,
You want to, Nick? Sure, thanks.
Does Karina know that we're meeting? Did you follow?
She does, she's just not able to, she wasn't able to take it.
Oh,
check out.
Where? All right, so we're approving the minutes.
Yes, you guys would like to make a motion for the minutes for the month of March 6th, 2023.
Yeah, I do have a person on it.
So make the motion, second and.
I make a motion to approve the minutes and so much.
Wait a second, and do we call
Now
roll
discussion.
and any discussions?
Yeah, I'm curious as to how the new building codes would change building in Prestone. Is it, are we having to change it?
The new building codes, as it turns out, because of the size of the town. We don't need to take any action right now.
Doesn't affect us.
Oh,
yeah.
Now, 2 years ago.
Really for the.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Necessarily.
That's good.
It all depends.
It's
On
good
the
to
state.
know.
They push, I don't think they're gonna press on this. Yeah, so
Okay,
hopefully they don't, but for the time being, we're,
but I mean,
no
I
changes,
think about the time.
we're all good.
So what about the backup? The backup had to
county actually approved the same thing. Yeah.
not,
Not do anything.
okay,
Not do anything,
So yeah, there's
but in 2 years it'll come up again, apparently.
potentially, the hope is that been, I mean, there's been significant pushback from. Most rural communities, that's part of why, you know, the county's done the same thing. It seems like most rural communities are doing this and are pushing back against it, and hopefully, it will not.
Yes,
That's not right.
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, any other questions?
No,
Somebody would like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
No, so that we already
We did
motion,
that.
now it's just vote.
yeah. we-
Everyone in favor, say aye. Aye. Everyone say no. Gets it? Okay. The next item on agenda today would be citizen comments.
Yes, me.
Did you?
That's you.
Okay, great. So I wanted to put this before everyone. I'm working with a developer who is interested in bringing a gym to the town, a gym and a movement arts area. There's a number of people behind this. But right now, there's not a whole lot of real estate available, as I know and yeah. So what I'm trying to figure out is like, in particular, we're interested in that property that Vivia is selling, the one that Steve McDowell owns. I think is the McDowell's own that, or who, it's
Where is it?
it's like that way. It's right around
Right, the
you.
next one,
It's right around you, but I think it's zone multifunction.
yes, it's
Not
a,
multi-function,
Well,
multi-use residential.
yeah, it's a high residential.
It's high density residential?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does that allow for someone to put like a two-story thing if the top story is residential and the bottom is like a gym and things like that? Would that be allowed there?
And I should, are you guys more familiar with those codes?
That's what,
Probably-
that's what happened with Lars, remember?
Yeah,
Lars wanted, and he built above it, but he still cannot, he cannot.
because he was residential though, that was like,
Yeah, that's.
that was a low-
They're both residential.
right,
Yeah,
but
but
this is
they're
the,
different,
it's a different zoning.
yeah.
Oh, well, and PS, I wanna talk real quick also about the whole thing happening with the assessor's office afterwards, so, but that'll be next. So I just wanted to find out what, if that place is zoned, cause it
You
was
probably need to
unclear.
get a conditional use, which would require you to have all of the people around you
Say
sign
yeah,
off on it.
okay, and
And
then,
then it still probably couldn't be commercial fully.
no, I get that, and that's what I'm encouraging is like, you know, the need to have residential apartments in particular. Would be what, the only way that I would back the project, honestly.
Water.
So,
Is water ready?
Oh.
It's aligned, yeah.
There's water,
Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to find out, and Scott, you had said you were gonna send me the conditional use paperwork, I remember there was some talk about. You guys having some sort of, I think at one of the meetings, you were saying, well, people need to know this stuff first before they even try. And so I just wanted to see if I could get that information from you as well.
Yeah, I'll send that over.
Okay.
It's always a kind of catch
Right,
22,
right.
because you don't wanna get the condition, you don't wanna. Start doing stuff until you get the conditional use,
That's right.
but then you can't get the conditional use until you own the land.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah,
Well, I wonder if like the process could be gotten to a certain point where everyone agrees,
You might be able to have the owner now.
apply for it.
Apply for a conditional use.
Okay, that makes sense.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
That way-
yeah,
and that could be during a due diligence period in a
That way you can
contract.
have it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. So I mean, ultimately, you know, I just want progress.
How
you
big
know.
would that be?
Huh?
How big would that?
I don't know. I haven't really seen the plans. My first step, that this group asked me to do was to come here and ask you guys.
Would it be all three lots would you buy?
Probably, yeah.
Because you can build.
3 units in
You can
each
do
lot,
three
or
and
2
four.
units in each lot.
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
so that's really what I just wanted to find out is how, and ultimately, on those 3 lots, how big of a single unit we could build.
Yeah.
If we-
Anything I think is the height limit
that. Yeah,
it's a 30.
and the amount of land that you use.
And that's
So,
one-
whereas you can only use like X amount of percentage of that.
and that's one thing as a neighbor that's really care about the height.
Yeah, that makes
because,
sense. Yeah, and I don't think it would be more than 2 stories,
And
so it'd
then,
probably only be like 20 feet.
are you guys having a parking space?
Yeah, and that's why they wanna use by all 3, so there'd be plenty of parking around it, so it wouldn't infringe on the
It could
neighborhood.
be a community center.
Well, that's kind of what we're hoping for, is like, it would be a big room that could be partitioned off as needed, but it also could be a community center.
Yeah,
It could be used for bigger events
right.
as needed.
One of the things that got Lars was that he was trying to do some commercial stuff on there. Like he was like, well, I wanna have like a juice bar and stuff.
yeah,
And I was like. If you got the conditional use and people in the town are okay with it, it's just that, we pay a lot more in property taxes, it's like 27.5% or something like that versus 7% residential.
oh, interesting.
Like
I
when,
see.
so you take the value and then there's like two calculations, one's for commercial, one's
Yeah.
for residential.
Oh, fascinating.
And,
Can you change that
if you're in the zone,
Interesting.
so like in Swatch,
Yeah.
they have no zoning.
Yeah, I get
So what the assessor does is he goes in and measures, okay, you have this much commercial and this much residential.
could that zoning be changed in the town of Crestone, even if it's conditional use? Can the zoning be changed so they are paying their fair amount of taxes? Cause that makes a lot of sense. And it wouldn't seem
Well,
fair.
One of those things, personally, I don't be changing the zoning, because that would have the same problem with the four houses that we had to change the zone.
Mhm.
And the master plan that we talk about earlier, a lot of people that are not really aware of that, there is a master plan for the town, how much can grow. And that's always my concern, how big we want to be and how much commercial we want to be, because Crestone is small. And right now, you're not gonna find a place to be in town, even in the back, a good rate for rent, right? And bring more of those places, I feel the town is becoming more tourist and expensive place to live than what we really are. I'm not sure how you feel, how the people that you talk about it, because at least personally, that's what I understand for the trustees and people live before me here.
Mhm.
The town is that much that we can spend, so.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that, when the Vaca Grande was created,
Yeah.
there are over 10,000 lots in that area, right?
Mhm.
So that means there could potentially be 10,000 people that we are catering to, right? So regardless of what, once, those number of people need services that we're going to need to cater to. And so it's either gonna be a problem of, the progress is going to happen either way. But we need to figure out a way to properly do it so that,
Exactly.
and that's what I wanna help with. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna just say that the one problem is called spot zoning.
Yeah,
So like, say you're bordering commercial over here, and then
Yeah.
there's some lots over here, and you go through the whole rezoning process, which I think is a vote.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but I think it's a vote of the town,
yeah.
right?
I think so.
It has to actually go to an election.
Oh, it's for the people in town?
Yeah,
Oh, fascinating.
and then you could say like, well, this is commercial, we're just adding a commercial here.
If it's
adding-
next to it, oh, I see, but if it's like its own
You
isolated
can't
thing.
spot zone.
I-
So you can't say that, this is not, like, you'd have to go across the street, commercial, all the way to
I
the.
see, okay,
You have to do
So-
the whole.
but that's specifically if you're gonna be taxed for commercial.
Yeah,
Okay, but
so
if
it's
it's,
better off doing it as a conditional use,
yeah,
as a open space, like a,
like community center.
where
or something.
you're not selling things, you're not doing commercial, but you're doing like classes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like
Yeah.
classes and
I'm-
like using it as a gym and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
It
it's-
seems that eventually 10,000 residents in the Baca will have to create its own commercial zones.
Well, I mean,
because
that's
there's no way
potentially,
they're gonna supply that.
well, or
fast.
annex,
Yeah.
or annex to the
Yeah,
town.
That was,
You know-
I wasn't really agree with the town on the backup, but
Yeah.
many people didn't like the idea, and I'm not sure.
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea, it was just the people who were,
Yeah.
it wasn't, I don't think a good idea with the way they
So-
wanted to,
Yeah.
Conditional use, private schools,
Okay,
I mean, this is in the high density residential.
Yeah.
Children's home, nurseries, daycare centers, churches, chapels, temples, synagogues, mortuaries, these are all can be in the zones.
okay,
Recreational, social facilities and parks, playfield, ball fields,
awesome, okay, so
Uh,
recreational.
town
facility.
special districts, county, state, federal facilities, uses and buildings, personal services,
That should work,
retailing goods good serving only residents of an area in which these are located,
Okay,
if part of the residential plan.
I feel like that falls under that, because
Yeah.
services, you know, if it's
Yeah.
a gym or if it's something like
Art
that.
studios, galleries, and
Perfect,
Recreational centers.
Are you working
with one of those as well.
Are you working with Lars?
Lars is one of the people involved in it. But the thing is, he has a particular way of doing stuff that I am helping him with because it's a little abrasive.
Yeah,
And ultimately, I just want what's best for everyone, I want to help make this a better community for everyone,
I think it's
And-
much needed.
I do too,
Yeah.
and I need a gym badly, honestly, personally. So, however, like, I also had got other people involved in it to like help with the flow, because I also told them like, it being a personal thing is not gonna work. We need residences more than anything, right? And if you're gonna take high density residential and not put residences, then I'm against it.
yeah,
Right, the only way that I'm for it is if we're adding to the residences that we can supply, and ideally, low income residences,
Yeah,
things that
exactly.
are affordable for people who just need apartments, things like that, that's my goal.
well, the nice
Yeah.
thing about that land is if you bought all 3 lots,
Yeah.
that's 6 units you could potentially
Actually, 6
design
units.
for.
That's great.
Therefore, you would have, because I know with Lars, he wants a commercial venture.
Yeah.
So,
The other thing, it does say compatible commercial uses
yeah,
on that with a conditional use.
there's some things that.
Compatible, whatever that means, are well located, clean and safe for business occupations.
Great,
Hmm,
so you could have a vendor, not a vendor, but a person, have small business production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what Adam did.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, he went and got remember it was a big fight because he was doing like compatible commercial use on that land before he got a conditional use, and then the town was like, well, you gotta get.
yeah, no, so I'm helping him, cause I made him realize that like, you're not gonna get anyone's approval, including mine, you're not gonna help anyone unless there's residences.
Well, and also the location is really key, I mean,
Yeah.
that location is
Would
good
never-
for almost anything.
The high density residence.
I mean, I wouldn't say commercial, but it's good
Yeah.
for like this kind of stuff.
And see, I'm
It's his
encouraging.
neighbor, but.
Yeah, and I'm encouraging not to do anything where it's like, packaged food or smoothies or anything like that.
Yeah.
But having something that's a community space that can be multifunction and be used for, bigger
What if you got
dinners.
like cooking classes?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Like things that could really be
Yeah,
beneficial to the community.
class.
I do think that there's a value to that, so I do, but I wanted to just do due diligence first and really figure out what makes the most sense.
one problem that we always like bring out here and I've talked before is the traffic on that road.
Yeah,
And especially for my neighbor who's older, the dust, even the dust from the road going to the charter school
Oh my
affects him.
that.
So I don't know how we can,
Terrible.
we need to find help, I'm not sure how the town is dealing with this, that we can make that road. I mean, yeah, because it's going to create more traffic and, that'd be something that we should take care.
I think the board of trustees should.
I agree.
in The county, more, and we should really put up a stink.
I agree
Send
with you
letters.
there, there's a pothole right there that literally, like, I don't know, I mean, do we take care of that, does the?
We take care of it.
Yeah, like, there's a pothole right there that's been there for like 6 months, and that like, literally every time I hit it, it like, my whole vehicle like goes down like at least
You
5 or
think
6
about
inches.
On the main road to go.
I mean,
to the
can't
charter
Nathan's do
school.
something on that?
Yeah, and and
Like, when you turn to go towards the charter school from.
Yeah, that one, yeah,
It's like-
I know it's.
Like,
Yeah.
that's really awesome.
Yeah, I talked to Andrew before and he said that he repair really often, but always I drive by the same thing.
Same thing,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I don't understand why that's the thing.
so just in the last,
Well, I think should be
2
here
weeks,
too,
yeah.
overall, And maybe that's
Gretchen
only
reached out to,
more like a forest style,
I think
because that's
I
not
believe
the
it's
thing
Jim
people
Warren,
on the stop sign,
and
because they believe it's
we're
a
gonna-
whole way.
Yeah,
Because
They don't have a
We talk
backhoe?
about this main road
No.
right there by the fire station. When we suddenly-
we've got a tractor, but it's little. But they've said that it's, so maybe for that one pothole.
Yeah.
What they need to do is just bring in like a dump truck. and lay in a
level it.
hole.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's.
And maybe that could be something, you
That's
know,
over.
that I could proposal is like we get like a, you know, a couple dump trucks of fines.
Yeah,
And just fill all that more.
and the other
Um,
thing, in that block that you wanna buy the lots, there is no exit to the main road, you know that, right?
Mhm, yeah,
I mean.
No, I get it.
it's-
anyways,
It's
so, you
it's
know,
it's got a gate for the town or for Steve.
Well, the elevation cuts off right there really hard,
Yeah,
so that's why they closed it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was one, reason. Plus the
okay, this is super helpful, I appreciate you guys' time.
main thing that you're gonna, you
Yeah.
know, have to convince is not so much town, but
Yeah.
to get the conditional use. You wanna write it in a way that really, cause you're gonna be dealing with people who.
No, I know, and I mean, again, that's why I feel like I could help, you know, do this and hear people what they want, you know, I think the road being, having more gravel in it would reduce the dust.
yeah,
You know,
so whatever.
and having like, you know, having a couple dump trucks, it's not that expensive, we do that, when we were doing at the energy fair. Having it at Eric's house, we bought like, I think 6 dump trucks worth of gravel and repaved that entire road.
Yeah.
To make them happy, to help them keep the dust down.
They don't oil.
So we don't, I think that makes sense.
This is what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The other thing I just wanna mention, just because you guys are the planning commission and you two are real estate. Is that, right now, the values of properties, you know, you've all been reassessed property values, stuff like that. There are things to consider that is not being looked at by the assessor, including the size of the lots. Because the assessor coding for the lots doesn't have a distinction between, you know, high density, medium density, and low density residential. Nor does it have a distinction between the 25-foot lots and the 50-foot lots. So those are all being taxed in the same way. So like someone with a 50 by 25-foot lot is being taxed in the same way as a 25 by 75 or a 25 by 50 foot or whatever. So, and it's a low density versus a high density, which are obviously very different in value. So, what if you're having an issue with any of your valuations? I am telling people, you know, especially if it's an older person who can't really understand how to use a computer, over the next few days, just let me know and I'm happy to come out just to help people. You know,
I think the main thing is the overall.
the overall is really important, and if you do feel like you're having problems with the values, it's really important also to just go ahead and send in a protest, even if you don't have an explanation of the protest.
Which I did.
Because the commissioners have decided they're gonna put together a new board that's gonna manage assessments. And it's gonna be comprised of former real estate agents, so I'm trying to get Lynn to be on the board. Cause she, you know, she really understands these values more than a lot of people.
The other thing is like, if you buy a spike and then, I mean, like, which most people did.
Yeah, totally. Well, also, you know, it's, you know, one person I know, you know, his 3 lots were valued at $120,000. And it's like, you can only build one house on the 3 lots, and that's totally incorrect. Anyways, so if there's anyone, you know, that needs just a little help, let me know. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
people,
definitely.
you know, people our age, I feel like can figure it out, but like, if they're older and especially if they're gonna be kicked out of town because of taxes, that's not right.
No.
So please just let me know
The
that.
other thing is the lot that's between the liquor store and the Venta might be available as well, and that's commercial.
I've
So
already,
that's the-
I have looked at that one, I know, I talked to them, the Windwalker people. And I don't think it would work necessarily size wise, just to build the space and have parking. If we didn't have to have parking, then it'd be okay. But because of the amount of parking that we're gonna need and the size of the lot, I don't think it would necessarily work.
Because-
Those 3 lots are a lot bigger.
I saw all the people go to the brewery park now on the bank.
Yeah, right.
And it's just insane, it's
Yeah,
how
right.
many people.
How many people work there? Yeah, totally. I agree.
Yeah,
So that's the only caveat. If the town didn't require that we have parking, then yes, it could work.
So the land that goes down, all the way down to Jillian's old studio. So if you take Lonnie's all the way down.
Yeah.
That wasn't commercial back when
Okay.
Jillian actually went and got that rezoned, but you notice it goes from Lonnie's all the way down. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
so
like
all those became
Yeah.
commercial.
a big lot.
Cool. Yeah, anyways, so, and I wanna reschedule that dinner Wednesday soon.
oh, yeah, no worries, do we talk about it?
But anyways, thank you guys, I really appreciate what you're
You're
doing,
welcome,
and thank you for your service.
and thank you
It's
for
not easy.
helping, Lars. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, he has good ideas, he just doesn't have a very good approach.
Yeah.
And, but I do really think that there are things that we need here in the town as the town grows. I mean, and even if it's not town itself growing, it's the
Yeah.
greater area growing, and
It's-
there's a need for
There's
service.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing that you mentioned about the taxes, right, and
Yeah.
pushing people out of town, that's what I don't want to. I want
Yeah.
people be able to still live and where they live right
Yeah,
now.
me too,
and-
exactly,
you
no,
know,
that's the
I
goal.
don't wanna be pushing and use more rich people coming in for, so.
I-
It's not that I don't wanna the town to grow up, but I want it to grow up in the right way.
I agree with you, and that's ultimately what I wanna help, happen.
Which means we have to
He's
have
been
to
really,
do this
he's been
like
honest.
that. We have to have a good master. plan.
Well, there is one,
No, but it's not.
you say
Has
it's
to
not,
be redesigned to
well,
really show that where the limitations are.
yeah,
and,
definitely.
where the-
It's outdated.
Because the other problem that we had down that is the water and the sewer,
I understand,
Okay.
though it sounds like you guys have more water than you realize, you need to start selling it. Right?
So,
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
well, no,
What's the needs?
the new water guy was saying that there's a lot of water, and if you don't use it, if you don't use a certain amount from the well, the Division of Water Resources can actually take it over back.
There's a lot of water from the well, but not the storage, we need a new storage tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll be able to
Yeah, I get it.
make some
I
moves.
It's happening slowly, very slowly.
Anyway.
If you know Jim McAlpin, did a plug and say, it's not really good.
Oh, interesting. I don't know very well. That's one person I think that want. Anyways, thank you guys again.
Thank you.
thank you for coming, see you.
See you later.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of things that town needs definitely, but 10 times, people will get more and more.
Another long citizen comment.
Yeah, I didn't
Come to
run the 3 minute time.
Yeah. Discussing everything, okay,
I'll
so,
just say that was good.
good, so the next item are agenda with the reports, anybody have a report to do? No, okay, so we move to the next item will be new business, requesting the building demonstration building. Sean King, he's not here because he mistaken the date.
Yeah, he's not here, he's on an airplane.
So it is on my land.
That's
So I
fine.
have to recuse myself, but I do have information about.
Okay, that'd be
About
nice
it.
if you want
Um,
to share with us.
And actually, for starters, I'll just repeat what I said to
Yes,
both of you
please.
guys before Benjamin got here, but. Normally this type of a thing would just be a building permit, wouldn't need to go before anyone. The reason that it's a little more complicated is because he doesn't want to hook up to water and sewer in order to keep costs low. And the code says that kind of new buildings need to connect to water and sewer, and also the size of the building is smaller than what's
What
allowed.
did he say?
in code for a single,
400 square feet.
Oh,
Well,
he-
that's the
no,
minimum,
That's the.
that's the
minimum.
minimum.
Yeah, I think
If I'm not
he is-
mistaken.
I think it's 300.
I think it's 300, but he had said that the new building is gonna be 200 square feet. And so, yeah, a couple obstacles in the code. And I figured that really with this meeting, you guys could just discuss and we can give them some feedback on
Yeah,
what you would need to do to get this okayed by town. You could recommend a variance, but the variances are, technically only supposed to be for things like, creek run to property or something.
Or a
like that.
variance on the land itself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Do
Yeah.
you know that he's planning to do a foundation?
He is.
What
Yeah.
kind of foundation?
Oh, I don't know what kind, but he planned to do a permanent foundation.
Cause that's the thing when they have a permanent foundation. I don't know, is it, what method do you have?
I mean, the main thing is that he doesn't, it's not that he doesn't wanna hook up. At some point, he said he's gonna maybe make it so he can hook up, it's just that. To do this so he learned from a guy named Yanto Evans, who is an architect. That founded the Cobb Cottage Company in Oregon. And Yanto basically like built this eco village, you know, and he wrote the hand sculpted house book, and he's, I mean, like, on another level when it comes to like alternative building, teaching people how to build. So he was one of the teachers for that. And this is an opportunity for him to kind of create something that has, you know, demonstration. It definitely is gonna be, you know, built in a real strong way,
He does Adobe.
or freeform Adobe. Yeah, but I think there's gonna be a few different methods on it.
On one
He's gonna
building.
need
You know,
water.
Huh?
One building.
He's gonna have, yeah, somehow he's gonna have to. Just build.
We were
What
thinking,
would the type of building?
So what did he say?
It's a building.
From my conversation with him, he was gonna do several different kinds,
Yeah.
since it's like a demonstration,
Yeah, like
so he was gonna do some straw bale.
One wall is so well.
Yeah, one wall straw bale, one wall hempcrete, and,
bags,
yeah, other,
but they're gonna need water. Thing they could do is maybe get a permission to do it to put water in next year, and then would go. As, you know, promissory, I don't know, that they would then agree to have water, but they're going to need it for almost all these demos. So they could put in water tanks,
Yeah, I mean, I just bought a 450 gallon thing
right?
that I could,
So
So
rain, you know, they could
but,
have collect
so
water
this
in
is-
the building, that's another demonstration.
more likely anything, this is a business, right?
It's,
Because the
well,
demonstration that he's going to do is for his own business.
no,
To-
it's for
Well,
energy here.
Well, yeah, once, but I mean, it's going to be open and then next. He said he wanted to come in and say demonstration, so.
I don't think he's.
I don't- yeah, I don't think it was gonna be meant to be a business, I think the community meeting room that he had suggested was just kind of an idea. I think it's really about, building it and showing different
Can we
methods,
use
and
the,
then,
can we use the building for meetings, because he's for the community, everyone can use it, right?
Mhm.
But he's only, he has the right to use it.
and
no,
that's a good question, if anyone can use it, you know, who's in charge of. Administrating that, you know, is that?
I have no idea if it's gonna be even comfortable enough for a meeting like that. I don't think it's gonna be this big.
no.
No, I already imagine the size, but it is, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean,
If there was, I don't think there is the property being discussed, but if there was a dwelling on the property, if there's a property that has a dwelling on it that has room for it, then it could be put up as an ADU, and then it wouldn't need water.
they wanna-
It wouldn't have side strings, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, you want
well,
to-
that's the thing, is there's actually, is two houses on the property, but they're further down on different lots. You know, so it's like,
Yeah.
if you are facing call it the white building that has a big sign on it.
Yeah.
If they're in the back, there's a studio. Both of those are separate apartments.
Yes.
And then there's actually, so that's on the half lot, which is 25 by 142. Then there's 3 more lots and it's on the 3rd lot.
Yeah.
So there's 150 more feet. And it's on, and then you go to that corner, there's that's where he wants to do it. So theoretically, you could say it was an ADU. It could be an additional.
So it's, they're one big lot, is it considered a one big lot?
No, it's 3.5 lots.
Okay, so when you talk about an
And a
ADU,
commercial.
it has to be on
So
a lot,
in
right?
a high density, or sorry, low density residential, you need 3 lots to build. So if you said, you had a house on 1 lot and then you put an ADU and it was on one of those 3 lots, I think that would work. But in this case, it's on separate commercial lot.
Yeah, so, I don't know, the building itself is the demonstration.
I
The
asked
building
them,
itself is the demo. So he's demonstrating how to build into spaces with all these alternative methods, and he's gonna use that building as the demonstration. So as they build it, they're gonna be building it.
Yeah, but I still feel that it's a business, because if he's going to demonstrate, he's a constructor guy, he's going to build houses, so he's going to build his.
It's not
He's
really
more of a
houses,
teacher.
He's more. of
Oh,
a
yeah,
teacher.
well, that's my concept, because if he's going to make in some way money,
I
for
think
that
they
one.
will, because the Energy Fair,
Yes,
Energy Exchange charges for demonstration classes.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing a gardening one and building with different materials, and they do charge $40, something like that. So it could become, just like this thing that we talked about, that could become very commercial.
yeah,
And before you know, you're paying a huge fees for memberships and stuff
well,
like that. Yeah,
exactly, and
So here's how it started. He came to me, he said, I wanna do this demonstration building somewhere. And I said, well, I originally thought we should do it on like a residential area. You know, that's what I thought, like, let's do it as an ADU on a residential area, and that would be no problem. But then he was like, well, this is kind of a public demonstration for the Energy Fair. I would really like to be able to do it on property that people can see it and see the different methods and be able to go through and say, okay, this was done this way and this was done this way.
yeah,
Then I said, well, why don't you do like a three-sided building? It's sort of like a thing where people could go in and almost like a bus stop type thing, you know? And he was like, well, that's fine, but then you're gonna have like the homeless people coming in.
that's what I.
Yeah. And so I said, well then, so what do you want? So then he said, well, then I kind of need to make it so that it's a
It's
lot of
closed,
those
yeah.
structure.
Yeah, fortunately, yes, because that's the problem with the free books too, right? And then one thing, just as you had a problem, how overused your bathrooms. You know, so
Right.
that's what I was really interested to have that one be connected to the sewer for people who use
Sure.
a restaurant if they
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to. So, yeah.
It's eventually gonna need that unless they don't do anything with it after it's built. You know, it has become a demonstration plot. And it's not gonna be used for anything else. I can understand why you wouldn't wanna, bring electricity and water in because it served its purpose.
Yeah,
So,
And it does look like, unfortunately, even the ADU idea, it looks like ADUs are only allowed in residential districts.
And
So it's, it being a commercial. zone
and did
kind of
you guys know,
messes that up.
I mean, if he have foundation, I'm pretty sure it's going to be for forever, right? Cause,
well, I questioned him on that because I said, you know, I know for a fact it takes way longer to build than most people put out, like, yeah, you're gonna do this in a weekend, no, you're not.
no,
But I think what he was trying to do, what he told me was that he was gonna start it on the weekend with the different, he'll have like a base ready to go, and then he'll do all the demos and everything, and then we'll continue to do classes on it. I don't know if he's charging or what, but he wanted some way that he could continue to do it until it was done. And I said, we don't want a half-finished building on the property. Now, the other option, you know, I talked to him about was who is building something and then taking it down.
Yeah.
You know, because actually, funny enough, Danto, the guy who's a teacher, he says you don't really learn from building until you actually deconstruct. A lot of learning from building is deconstructing things. So that was a big thing. He used to do things like take apart walls and do all sorts of things just to show how it was built. Anyway, so we could say, you know, you can build these wall systems and stuff, but then clean it up. And so you can have like an option to build something that kind of get it stay there.
It's a temporary structure.
Yeah.
so is he coming next meeting?
Well, I figured, you know,
Just use the land.
Yeah,
You could use the land for some kind of demonstration and stuff, whether it be foundations or maybe not build a whole building.
dismantle it after.
And then just take it apart, or leave it as little demos that aren't.
will you being the owner of the land, how you talk to him, how is?
I mean, you know, it's kind of it's one part of the reason when I saw it, I was like, well, this is not like a place that, you know, we're gonna be doing anything soon on, and it's kind of like it's so public.
Are you making any kind of contract with him, is you verbal?
If we got this to go, I would do a contract with some sort, like.
Yeah, I mean, appreciate you.
Huh?
I mean, as
No,
a person, I appreciate you too.
Part of the reason I'm for it is because, I studied with Yanto, I practiced with him, I did a 3-week course with him, I went to his house, I saw him. And then when Sean showed up, I was like, oh, you were one of his students, became a teacher and this and that, so I was really excited that we had somebody who was involved in that out cottage world here, which was, to me, was, you know, so I really like, and I love alternative building, and to have somebody who is, you know, teaching this stuff is really cool. There's a lot of people here, especially if we keep the building codes out of here, that are gonna want to build alternative.
So it would
For
happen.
low income, I was gonna say, for a low income way to build, Cobb is extremely inexpensive, it's a lot of work. It, you can build, like, the house I built on the block was $5,000.
What did you say?
House, reformed Adobe.
Okay.
So basically, I collected rocks, I built the foundation, I poured concrete inside the rocks. So I dry stacked it and I poured concrete inside it. I put insulation down below, and then I put straw bales, and then in some areas I did full cob, which was like 20 inches thick. And in some areas were straw bale in the middle and cob on the side.
Wow.
And then I got all this recycled wood and I did the roof. Now it was just like a really cozy space. It was actually really cozy out in Grants. But in order to really live there, you have to have like another section that had a bathroom. And I did put in the septic. So funny enough, the newest owner, this is now, I was the first. There's been 2 owners, now the 3rd owner after me has done that, and he's creating a really nice house out of it. So.
Well, that's one thing about Crescent, not about the business, that's one thing I love, all the types of ways to build a house. And part of my house is trouble too, you know, and I love it, so it's good for the new people. So that's another thing, driving on the back that there's not a business. You see houses that not have, you know, the solar way, you know, have all the windows and the north side and now facing the sun, you know, that's one good thing for people coming out to be able to build and keep the houses more easy, So what we should do, we should wait for him to come to the next meeting and talk to him about it and you do the recommendation. Or we
I don't know
wanna-
what he's asking for.
That's,
He's asking for,
Well-
not have.
yeah, to not have those codes that have to be.
Yeah, he's.
And the size of the building, I guess too, because I think, and this is say 400 square feet, so we should, if he wanted to be a smaller, than 400, that's another
But
thing.
he would have to come to the board anyways, and we would make a recommendation.
Yeah, exactly,
Really I don't know that he knows necessarily what he's asking for, he just wanted, to get the ball rolling. I figured a good first step would be to see what you guys thought of
And he
the
wants to,
plan and the issues
and he wants to do it during the energy fair,
in
or the week.
September.
So he's probably gonna do a lot of preparation beforehand. Do some teaching beforehand
Yeah,
for the prep of it.
and then maybe they'll make videos of it.
That this kind of building, you need to have some kind of insurance for people coming, or you just sign a waiver.
Are you insured? You can rent, you can
That's a
buy
good-
daily insurance, you know, costs about $150.
Or
And you can
ask
insure the event.
Or ask for a sign waiver, and that way you don't have to.
No, you have to apply for insurance for that day. And you pay these companies,
Okay,
and then everybody's free to use whatever, and if somebody does hurt themselves, they're insured.
oh, yeah?
Yeah, we do that for the garden festival,
Oh,
yeah.
It does seem like the simplest answer, would be to do it in a residential. That on a lot that has a dwelling on it, cause then it would be. Yeah, easy, you know, then it's totally within the code. and-
But does ADUs still need to be plumbed and stuff?
They don't, there just
No.
needs to be plumbing on the property, yeah.
well, I mean, depends if you guys wanna.
You wanna do it on your property?
Yeah,
Yeah, you want another structure?
that's
Yeah.
awesome, yeah,
They can-
yeah, it's just the people coming in, I wanna be alone. I have this guy comes every morning to make the phone call right there in my corner, I don't know why, where he's staying. And the village, I don't know, but he always work and then he's on the phone, you know, and my wife she's in the garden, quiet and. I don't know.
That'd be a hot spot.
Yeah, I think so, that's what I was wondering, cause he's working with the phone for anyway,
So we
so,
could say that this is not the best property for
Well, I,
Yeah.
now that I hear, listen to you guys, you know, I always, like those kind of projects, you know, to be able to teach people how to build, definitely. And I do that and it's good somebody doing it. I like that one, if you, as the owner of the property, you are supporting him too, I think it's a good thing to do. The things we should wait for him to come and talk to us, so we have better know what he's going to do and then
What
send a
about-
recommendation.
What about the lot that's right next to Jillian's White House? Isn't there one where they had a horse, kept your horse?
It's still commercial.
If, I mean, I'm not, you know, this is just, you know, brainstorming, but, I know part of what he wanted to do was, you know, do this demonstration build, and he wanted to put, windows on the outside of each wall, so that don't go inside, windows so you can see what's inside the
Yeah,
wall and what
okay.
it's made of.
Now I got a better idea what the wrong.
Yeah, and so it would be kind of like a permanent demonstration.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something he would be at all interested in, but the, Public Works crew needs more storage space. I wonder if you would be at all interested in building it as a demonstration, leaving it up as a demonstration of, you know, seeing what's inside the walls and everything. We could get like an information panel put up about it, under the condition that he donates it.
We'll do it up there.
Maybe, again, I'm just, the idea only just occurred to me, I'm not sure where we could do that, but. Yeah, Public Works could store stuff in there, and it would be a permanent demonstration of the building methods, and like I said, put a panel up that explains
idea.
what the deal is with it. Maybe, you know, and ideally to do that, it would be in, yeah, up there somewhere where the. With residential over there.
Oh, yeah,
So,
Is there enough room on the property?
yeah, no,
and that's what I'm not sure
What
about.
about, what about the church property? You're doing like a garden shed.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
it's a great, that's really cool.
And you go to be open, so it's going to be safe where you put it to.
There's just really not a lot of space here either.
no, I know that the church,
Behind the chapters, but again, it would have. I'm putting a shed in there in a couple weeks,
and that's,
yeah.
and that's what I was,
It happened.
yep, yes.
Yes, I do.
So yeah, I know that you guys need the shed. You
We
know,
need it.
What about
right now, but
There's really not a lot of space, but if you could figure out the space and the church would agree to it. I don't give you permission, it's either Denise or the members of the church that make decisions. There is a little spot, but we have like compost there and it's a parking area, so again, it probably wouldn't be.
Are you allowed to have a shed built, like, I mean, could we call it a shed? If it's like
Yeah.
over a certain,
Think so, yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
got-
it's also. Cause it's under 400, it's.
it's on, I'm curious.
yeah,
You could just call it-
that's a good, because a shed isn't an ADU. A shed is a
Shed.
shed,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
um,
I think
Well, I
that's,
wish I knew about this a month ago,
yeah,
just about to pay for a shed.
I definitely would like to
Talk to
support.
us.
if you haven't paid for a shed yet,
I haven't, but I.
You might- you might have a-
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
sounds
a
good.
possibility if he wants to look at that land in front of the church, we could definitely stay usable storage area in the front,
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, I don't care, it doesn't, I don't need it, I'm literally doing this for
Mhm.
the energy fair and.
And I think I would like to support it too, and the way that we don't get any back to us, you know, so it's that small and it's not going to be used for anything else, be fine, they'll be there for a year, 2 years, and then fence, if you wanna continue, maybe we review about the sewer and the water, but no big deal for now, so.
Yeah, it could be that it's a demonstration site for every year,
Yeah,
yeah,
that too,
yeah.
I mean, if you wanna put a park, I'm not sure, but.
Yeah, so it,
But it'd be good if he was here too, to spend a little bit, us a little more, and to be
Yeah.
agree what we think and feel, because he don't know
yeah,
exactly, so. So did you guys gonna put it in for the next meeting and talk to him personally?
So, just looking to see if there's a thing for a shed or.
I think so, as well, at least in my zone, they told me that one at some point, that we was building another one, it has to be some size, if you go to over that size, has to have all the things.
What's the name? What would you call
Would be an accessory use,
it? Accessory.
building, I think. Accessory use
Accessory
structure.
Clearly into secondary, limited use. Guest. Not limited to. Guest house, greenhouse, guest house, greenhouse.
Or tools. Is that it?
What tool shed?
What page is that?
15:110. At the top.
And that's something that, at a minimum, as a takeaway, I can talk to Seth about that, you know, I mean, for instance, there are lots in town that can't be built upon, could somebody put a shed on those spots? You know,
I mean, ideally, I think if if you wanna try to get permission, not including the shed thing, but if you wanted to try to do it over there. Find a spot, maybe like even on the corner of the garden. That's, you know, still within the setbacks or.
What would a measured bit on that be, like 10 by 20 or something?
No, it's more
I think it was 15 by 15 was what he,
Okay.
I think was what he had mentioned to me.
Yeah, I think there's a spot there, but it has to be 20 feet from the road, right? And then that little driveway, just have to also be set in.
That's an alley.
That's it, so it's not considered.
There's a smaller setback from the alley,
Fires.
5 or 10 feet.
Okay, well, I mean, that has to be considered, too. How much space you really have after you know, the setbacks. And then it would have to be leveled, you know, there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, he'll do all that.
Yeah,
Um,
and then if the church allows it,
I mean, I personally don't care about where it goes. I literally think that if it's a better use in another place and it's still public. People can still go into public.
people can still see it. yeah.
Well, if you wanna check with church and you.
Yeah,
You
check with the
change
church
it
on-
there,
I'll
and
talk
we-
to Jason, she'll have to talk further.
So will you relay this stuff to Sean?
I will, yeah.
and we wait for him come up for the next meeting.
Yeah.
And a better idea, and yeah, definitely, I would like to support that one, so. If there is
I
property.
mean, maybe even just thinking about other options.
Yeah, too,
Mhm.
you know. okay,
Yeah, I think it's a productive
Yeah.
brainstorm.
Definitely,
And
thank you.
even like, you know, there's a trailer over here on the corner, which is owned by Jack's mom.
You know, what about the land right across the street from the newspaper? That's Elaine and
Is it?
Steve.
They don't know.
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, right there.
Yeah, and that's a big open lot.
I just don't think Steve's gonna go for it.
No. You're right. And then across the street, there's another kitty corner,
Uh-huh.
there's a big open spot there,
Yeah,
and now I don't know who owns that,
probably.
you know, they probably own that too. But that's a good spot,
Oh, that corner, yeah, that would be beautiful, although it's kind of flood thing. Kind of flood area.
well, if it's a permanent, yeah, but if it's not a permanent. You know, structure, then it could be done in the summer.
Another option is up at the schoolhouse area,
Yeah,
the museums.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
Yeah.
down, right?
Thomas Town,
Yeah, it's fine.
so.
Well, yeah, there's, I think that be the best option to they can come up for the next meeting and talk about what we think about it and all the options that we have and then we can make a recommendation.
And I'll relay all of this, and
Yeah.
all these ideas.
Perfect.
Just say maybe the town would be interested in, I mean, if we're gonna do something, shares, town would be interested in the use.
Mhm.
Of it,
Yeah,
and since it's on public land, like the museum would be a good place,
Yeah.
like.
and then
Mhm.
too about the insurance, they can need to have insurance
Yeah.
for the people coming in, whatever. Chica had one insurance for the day too, so all of the little things. Perfect.
Alright.
So the next item in our agenda is something I brought out about this the speed coming to town. Every morning that I leave my property going to work by 7, 8 in the morning, the traffic going to the charter school is coming really fast. And not only that traffic, but that's one of those main, and the people coming to town, you know, they know coming 35, they don't just slow down even to the free box, and so. I don't know what you guys, I personally thought that maybe one of those electronic signs with the speed, people got more shame when they see it on the screen there and slow down because. There is already a sign that put us there, is slow down, you know, that's how we drive in town and.
Don't they have a sign that says we drive slowly? and
Yes.
stuff?
Mhm.
That doesn't help, does it?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I guess so too.
And I'm not sure, I'm not sure exactly what you guys can do as the planning commission on this particular
just running.
topic, but
Yeah.
yeah, recommendation.
I mean,
Yeah,
one thing just happened yesterday, or yesterday, or the day before,
yesterday.
I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
They were pulling people over, like left and right in town, they had three unmarked cars and one truck,
Mhm.
and they were just stopping. Everywhere.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Or 2
nice.
days ago.
Cause I heard some commotion with some tires being, I don't know, racing, and I thought somebody was going out the curb, but I couldn't see anything.
That was definitely the case, they were pulling people over.
It's an untapped stream of revenue for
Yeah,
the sheriff's office, I mean, they can just.
No, I wish it was, I mean, you know, I think one of the big things, one of the big things would be, we've talked about getting those speed bumps, that was one thing, we're trying, but that's probably not gonna happen.
Because it's close.
There was, it had to do with the plow and then who was gonna pay for it. And what was it, I mean, it was,
Mhm. Yeah, and I think a big piece was about the plow.
Okay, yeah, because
I know that other towns
yes.
have, snow- I mean, they have speed bumps. I was just in one house actually, and they get plenty of snow there,
Mhm.
that's what we do. They had speed bumps going through this whole neighborhood, it was literally really slows you down too.
I've seen them that are rubber, that go, you
We
know,
talked about getting those too.
you could probably take it off.
Mhm. Well, I don't know anything that can help us because we have two different things, right? As Creston is, we have a lot of kids and adult people that working are a lot, you know, and crossing the street, and sometimes you have a lot of drivers that not pay attention, and we're trying to avoid an accident can happen, you know?
Well, that's always been a speed area right there.
Yeah.
People coming in, they don't slow down
No.
fast enough, they're all hyped up, they're
Yes,
coming from Alamosa or whatever, and so they don't
yes.
ever think about it until they hit that stop sign and they.
Yeah. Yeah, and even that one, you know, you see some people run the stop sign, like, and I can see all kinds of drivers, you know, can be an older one, a younger one, somebody out of town, people with kids in the car, you know, when I did the conformity job, I can see that more often, but, I was thinking maybe the electronic sign is so simple, I'm not sure how expensive it is, and with that one, maybe it can be a shame, and maybe sometimes the conformant can be there taking notes.
Is
I don't
that a
know.
county, that's county,
I'm not sure that.
county, right?
Which one? The entrance to
The
town,
road coming.
before
It
the,
is, so it turns into,
so by the Lamas already county or is
by
town,
the what,
the Lamas?
that's county. We did it,
So right there by the sign where they say welcome to Crescent, that's when
Yeah.
it start. And that's why we need pretty much the sign because the bigger problem I see is the poor. And I remember some people mentioned that a lot of people lose control and go out to the road too. I never see anything personal, but I hear sometimes the sound so I don't know.
I know the danger that I always encounter is when I'm leaving town to go into the Baca. And I'm going by the information kiosk,
Yeah,
and I have to turn left to go up. The light, which is way up there, is out. And sometimes I don't realize that I'm gonna turn left before that stone wall,
yeah,
rather than after.
yes,
And so, you know, if you're doing that at a time when something's coming down the road, that's a very confusing, and you might wanna have.
That's
Those
county.
reflective things,
That's county.
huh?
That's county.
now,
Yeah, that's county. And I've looked on county and hasn't put the light up, putting the bulb in, but it's really hot.
wow,
It's a huge long pole, but I mean, I think there are reflectors that would show you in the evening especially.
so we should start, as a neighbor, we should start making some calls to the county too, but as
The
a
county
town,
did say that they had some of those signs.
Yeah.
At one point, I remember.
The speed readers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they might actually be willing to give or loan or sell us one. We should
So-
find out.
they,
Those things are, there's good ones that are just not that, I mean, they have a little solar panel on top, and they
Mhm.
just, you know, like, it's slow down, basically.
Yeah.
It's slow down.
yeah, because some don't even read the speed, they just tell you to slow down and red and.
Yeah, I'll reach out to, Road and Bridge.
Yeah,
That's
just see if we,
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything that we can do to get avoid any bigger
I
situation.
know, I mean, unfortunately, it's probably gonna be, something's gonna happen where we're gonna have something happen, and then
And then,
people will.
yeah.
This might be silly, and I'm not sure what the way to go about it would be necessarily, again, I haven't researched off the top of my head, but, I wonder if we could put a stop sign right there, like, no, it's not an intersection, but,
Before zone.
well, yeah, like, right at that turn, right before, yeah, just before the turn, yeah, stop, just like,
Or yield,
just like you know, there's a stop sign at that intersection for the charter school.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one is actually
four-way.
a four-way intersection, but, a similar curve. I wonder if we could put a stop sign right there in front of the curve and just, people might not be.
Or the street that you're, you know, the,
Line? Yeah,
line.
no, it's copper,
oh, Copper.
yeah.
You could have it at Copper and then from turns, people are already slowing down,
Two, yeah.
yeah.
because that is the intersection.
So you'd have your-
Yeah.
You have your lights flashing at the curb,
Mhm.
and then a stop sign at Copper.
But no, either one, I mean, I'm not sure of the two then, but yeah.
Two.
Yeah, I mean, where, cause it's really, always made me crazy, cause there is no reason for me to go fast here, you know, you never late here, there is not that reason, and I think just people. Had that thing, and okay, you just can drive fast, either some people come to the liquor store before close, or the mercantile, so it's just crazy, but.
One thing I do when I'm in town is I downshift to one, so you have, it just automatically.
Yeah, exactly,
Speed up.
yeah, girl, definitely, so, yeah, so you wanna contact those people there and see what they can do for us and.
I remember when you were code enforcer, you used to stop everybody and tell them
Yeah.
it's 15 miles.
Yeah, that's what it is like me, so yeah, I started to work with that.
And I always thought it'd be cool to have like a sign that says slow and you're just standing there and then all of a sudden you just stick it out. Slow,
Yeah,
slow.
yeah, you have to combine it by, yeah, because then.
I always wanted to do that. You know, Eric Mackey, when Shambhala, yeah, when Shambhala used to be there, he set up a lawn chair in the middle of the street. And he would just sit there with his coffee on purpose, just to slow people down. It was great. I thought it was so good.
If you don't know, what ways I should do that,
Well,
you
you
go.
could, like, in the middle of the road, you could have a slow sign, you know, in the middle of the road, so
Yeah.
people go by and it's like the back.
Towns that have bigger budgets, they do all sorts of cool things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it really comes down to.
I mean, you know, yeah, our insurance is gonna cover us if we have something happen, but there's,
Then
we
it
have
goes
to
up.
file a claim, yeah, exactly. So it's almost like, do we wanna be preeminent or post-eminent?
Yeah, always attempt to be fair, but anyway.
Pre, that's
Yeah.
kind of our job, but. We've
We
tried,
tried.
we're talking about this for a long time, with speed bumps and I wanted those signs, slow signs, maybe it's just a matter of somebody just getting on it,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe if you call, they'll be like, oh, yeah, we have.
yeah,
You guys
I should call
I'll
them
see.
too, just to, and I think the more people call, they can take more action too, and I'm not sure about it, how you feel about that, they were putting people, they were
I
putting
think it's
people
good.
for a speed.
Yeah, speeding and stop sign, and I thought, I like it because
Me
I'm
too.
not driving around town, I'm walking or riding my bike usually.
We had two rollover, one on T Road on Saturday morning. On one of those, the last turns coming out to town, they didn't make the turn, just going straight, you know, so it's a lot of people speeding. I don't find the reason, a lot, sometimes new people coming to town. Or they're really tired to be driving 4 hours from Denver and just wanna make it home, but it's really dangerous, you know.
Clark? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I got pulled over. For having an ATV in town and our municipal law says you can. And that had to do with Jim Homer being on the board a long time ago, he said, we need to be able to have our ATVs in town because we're going out into areas, but you have to have a flag.
Yeah,
Okay.
flag.
You're supposed,
He just lost his,
huh?
he just lost his
Yeah.
flag.
The point being, like, it's good to know that we have municipal laws.
Yeah.
I said, the county can't override.
Okay, perfect.
He
So-
lost.
So you had to spend the guy,
Huh?
you had to.
I
spend-
did, I said, we have a municipal law that says we can drive around town. You he's like, you should have that on you.
Yeah.
So what's the reason there should not be allowed in town for him, like there's no-
Normally, you're not allowed to have ATVs, like I think in Swatch, you're not allowed to have an ATV now.
Huh.
Sometimes you're not allowed to, but we're surrounded by BLM, Forest Service, now, you know, you're.
Huh. That's
How would
interesting,
you get around it?
yeah, you have motorcycles.
What are you gonna do, load it up on a trailer or just?
Yeah, and actually I was thinking the right one too, cause you know, it's a more.
They're great, you just
big-
need a flag.
big truck and, yeah,
One of the good things Jim Homer did for when he was before,
nice.
for people who want, you know.
Perfect.
I mean, you still have to abide by all the street, you know, stop signs, and you're supposed to abide
Yeah.
by the speed limit. and
Yeah, sure.
I remember Clark, Bass?
Yes.
He used to sit on the steps of the, that building that's still not finished next to the.
The white building, yeah.
And he used to watch people drive by, and he posted a page. On the Facebook saying that almost all the people that went through that road never stopped at the stop sign. And
Yeah,
I thought about, well, I do sometimes.
Y'all should.
yeah,
You
sometimes.
should follow our own rules. I
Yeah.
watched Karina drive around you.
She was
I
married.
had to put her once.
Pull over.
Yeah, and I didn't know what car she was driving, but she just run the stop sign right there at the intersection that we talked about earlier. And I said, hey, you run the stop sign, so what's here, and I had to do it. But yeah, no, that's what I said, yeah, we have to do something. But we appreciate that one, so to not make this long, we go with the next item, and the agenda is all business, we don't have any old business. So the next one, having one, adjourn the
I'll make a
meeting,
motion to adjourn.
okay, I second that one. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys for coming. Enjoy the afternoon.
Thanks for
It's a lot of time. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. You know very well the ways of this one. Can I take this with?
Yeah.
To really make sure I get one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would like to support that one too, so wherever it takes. And you talk to the people, so.
Takes a little time because you gotta send out letters to all.